So finally, a video about somebody other than Barbara Streisand. We're going to be talking about Carol Channing. And if you're part of my tribe, you of course know who Carol Channing is. But there will be a connection. There's always a connection. Somehow, some way, there's always a connection to Barbara. But I worked with Carol Channing. This is a terrible picture. It's very blurry. I don't know if it'll read. I'll try and superimpose one on the video here. I worked as a publicist for Carol Channing when she had a CD to promote called Jazz Baby, which I loved. So how did I get to work on this account? I worked for Lee Salters. So Lee Salters was Barbara Streisand's publicist of maybe 30 years, but of course, as I've said before, as soon as I started working with them, they parted ways. But you could still find me in the clippings room almost every single day looking through Barbara's clippings. Anyway, we had a noon meeting, staff meeting every day, and Lee, who was 80 at the time, said, we need someone to work on the Carol Channing account. And mostly the publicists were young guys, long haired guys. This was a long time ago, but very into music. I've never been into music. Not really, really. If you're part of my tribe, you know I listened to Barbara in high school. You know I listened to high school Broadway shows, big band music, Hollywood musical music. Some things just never change. That's still the same. But anyway, when they said they needed someone to work on the Carol Channing account, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, hello, is no hesitation. Legend, right? Absolute legend. For Hello Dolly and all of her Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, so many amazing Broadway legendary appearances, and that voice and that personality and that look. So of course I wanted to do it. So when you're doing PR, you're pitching your client, you want to get them on talk shows. She was releasing Jazz Baby, which was a compilation of jazz music, which quite frankly, I still love. I couldn't find the CD when I was doing this video, but I did find my Cher CD while looking. So I may have to be doing Cher soon because I worship at the altar of Cher. Anyway, could not get Miss Channing on a single show. So I pitched David Letterman. They said they'll call back. In the meantime, I would do what one always does. I would attend her interviews and I would try so hard not to look drop-jawed and look professional and poised. She always said, and I'm not going to do my imitation of her, but she would always say she was so impressed how much I would actually listen to the interview she was giving, in which she often repeated the same story, as most of them do, but always make it look fresh and new. Of course, I was listening to every story. It was Carol Channing. I was sitting in her house listening to her do interviews. In the meantime, I had put these calls out to the different nighttime shows. We wanted to get her on to promote the CD. Couldn't do it. So do you know what happened? Had to think out of the box. So my suggestion was, what if we have her do a skit? Could she do a skit? Well, they got back to me pretty darn quickly, and the skit is hysterical. I will look everywhere on YouTube to see if I can find it. But they had Miss Channing playing ping pong with Letterman, and their request was, could she wear a beaded dress? And of course she could wear a beaded dress. She had a short little beaded dress. She had the most phenomenal figure because she was on the microbiotic diet way back even then. So as a publicist, there I am sipping my Diet Coke, and there she is drinking vegetable drinks and fruit drinks and things like that. And I remember her lifting her shirt once to show me her beautiful, gorgeous belly. And I think at that time she was about 80. And I thought, man, there's something to this. She was so real. So long and short of it, legend. But the only way I could get her onto Letterman was to play ping pong in a very fancy beaded dress. And here's one more thing that allowed me to know she was comfortable with me. I went to her house, as I often did through the process of working with her, to do some interviews. She opened the door. She did not have the wig on. Miss Channing was known for the wig. The wig and I loved him, the overdrawn lips, no makeup, or I should say very little makeup, no wig. And I have to be honest, at first glance, I didn't know it was her, but all she had to do was enunciate even a portion of a syllable. I'm like, that's her. That's definitely her. Because if nothing else, I had to compose myself because there's Carol Channing without the the wig. So even a legend like Carol Channing, you couldn't just get them on Letterman. That's kind of cool. But what was even cooler was She was a legend because she would do such a thing. She would play the game. Whatever was needed to be done was done. And next time, maybe I'll come on, I'll talk about her appearing at the Viper Room, Johnny Depp's Viper Room. Oh, she was all game and the crowd loved her. But anyway, that's my little story of working under Lee Salters with Carol Channing, who I also got Christmas cards from for years after working with her. What a lovely, real, cool, fascinating person and charismatic. Love, peace, and chicken grease, and thanks for watching. One last thing. There's a million really great videos of Miss Channing on YouTube, but you must watch the clip that I have attached a link to that she is cracking up Gene Shalit. And again, if you're part of my tribe, you probably know who Gene Shalit is from the Today Show a million years ago, but it's hysterical. Anyway, love, peace, and chicken grease, and I hope you enjoy it. And there may be more Carol Channing stories. There may be.